Hello everyone, welcome back to Kharak Cup 7. We're going to jump right into the semifinals here. And Tarnarmour definitely rolling the more difficult semifinal, as he is going to be up against Catharsis here. He's going to be playing random, of course, Catharsis playing Soban. And actually, Catharsis was talking earlier about how like there's potentially a possibility of actually throwing games to try to make your elimination bracket a bit easier. And there's actually kind of like a thought that maybe like if Tarnarmour wanted to play against me instead of against Catharsis, he could have done this. I think he had the like power to choose like what side of the bracket he was on, but that's kind of a moot point. I don't think that was really going through anyone's mind here. He's playing random, of course, in this series, and Catharsis is playing Soban, and the first match is going to be Kharak versus Soban. So that'll be exciting to see. Exciting to see what Tarnarmour can pull off with this. Let's see what build they're going for. Looks like Tarnarmour wants to do some early aggression, or at least he's getting Sandskimmer fabrication very early. But double producing salvagers right here, so I think he wants to... I think that's actually kind of like a safe eco, where you just get a couple of Sandskimmers out to see what's going on, but you want to build up an eco instead. We'll have to see, though. Catharsis, meanwhile, is going for LAV fabrication after fully saturating this base here. That makes me think it's going to be a tech rush. I think he wants to do, like... AAVs or something like that? Well, we'll have to see, though. It's just kind of, sets this carrier up in the perfect position. Which is very hard to do, by the way. And yeah, you can see how well that's timed right when that finishes. He's clicking on AAV fabrication. So that is going to be an AAV rush. Hopefully Tarnarmour will scout it with his Sandskimmers here. That's kind of the idea. That's why I called this a safe eco, is because then you can see with your Sandskimmers what's going on. Especially as Con F, they don't get a scanner from their base runner, which actually I just noticed now he retired. So if you're gonna have any vision on the map, really, you've got to do it with Sandskimmers. So I like this move. I think they should just kind of not the Salvager, but the Sandskimmer should just kind of move out here and check out what's going on the map, and he will see that it's AAVs before too long. That tech, of course, gonna finish in about 7 seconds here, and Catharsis even having enough time to set up a bit of long distance mining as well, so that's nice. Sandskimmers are moving out across the map. That's exactly what we wanted to see. One quick tip for Tarnarmour, actually, you can turn on the mobility support and then the salvagers move a little bit faster. So then you can, yeah, it's really nice. You can, like, get a little bit more efficient long distance mining there. And refinery mode is going to be finished in about 20 seconds, so his economy is definitely going to be doing quite well. The rush distance is quite long on this map, so... the hope here for Tarnarmour is that by the time these AAVs are getting to the base, he's already going to have railgun fabrication or assault ship fabrication, whichever one he chooses to go for. And this is obviously the right move, but he can't know that really, because he hasn't seen these on the way. Assault ships, though, they'll still do it. They're fine that way. Railgun fabrication is on the way now, which is excellent for Tarnarmour. And interestingly, one of these AAVs heading off in this direction. I'm not sure exactly what he plans to do. Maybe just because he saw these Sandskimmers and he's a bit worried about it. Oh, but crucially, Tarnarmour going after the base runner, which is not a bad move, but he's not going to see this AAV. I hope he's going to have railgun fabrication out then, but we'll have to see. There's some potential for damage to be done by this unit here. Armor 1 also coming out, so he definitely wants to go like a Sandskimmer railgun build, it seems. Which is a strong one. That's like my preferred one. You've obviously seen me use it to pretty good effect. But yeah, it looks like railgun fabrication not going to be finished until this AAV is at the gates. And look at that targeting jammer. Is that going to cause the base runner to extract? No. Oh, that is clutch. Because that was not going to extract otherwise. Dang. Catharsis showing us his moves. Salvagers are getting killed here, and they're going to back away. That's obviously the right move here. He has railgun fabrication. He's going to start making assault railgun right now. Probably the cruise missile would be a bit more useful here, but it's still going to be difficult to hit them. Another one is coming in as well. And these Sandskimmers are going to see him. Just kind of try to get out of there. But yeah, the assault railgun's about to finish, so he's going to be okay in terms of economy. He needs to get this threat here kind of weeded out quickly, because of course his opponent's going to be on 2 bases pretty soon. He wants to be on 2 bases at about the same time. And interestingly, both players going for anti-air here. For Catharsis, that's very blind. I guess he just does that for defense. It's probably just kind of a normal thing for him. Because he hasn't seen anything that would tell him that he needs anti-air here. For Tarnarmour, he's against Catharsis, so he knows he needs anti-air. Let's be honest, right? This AAV in a perfect position to be super annoying, by the way. And a smoke coming down on top of the assault railgun. Excellent move right there. Tarnarmour, no, I was about to say he's not making any more assault railguns. He must be crazy, but he is. He's got another one right there. And he should be able to deal with this then, so that threat is definitely going to be alleviated. So I think things are going just fine for Tarnarmour right now. Railgun fabrication on the way for Catharsis. It's kind of the logical next move. And Catharsis should have a pretty good game going armored assaults and railguns. He may even get a salvager kill right here. Yeah, I think he's going to. Oh, it's going to be close. No, he didn't target fire the right one. So actually he didn't even get a single salvager kill, which is pretty nice from Tarnarmour. And there's some real eco damage being done here now. Kind of nice targeting jammer comes in and stops this, but... Oh, there's an AAV now in the area, so he's going to have to fall back. But that was really nice, actually. Manages to kill off the targeting jammer, too, which is, of course, expensive. And I think he only lost one Sandscreamer for that. I don't think he actually ended up getting any salvagers there, but he got close. And the spawn carrier cannot heal anyone, so... That's going to be a little bit annoying for Catharsis to have to deal with. However, a kind of nice surround of these AAVs is going to trap some of these Sandscreamers in here, probably get a couple kills, so that's a pretty nice follow-up. Now, Tarnarmour going for another production cruiser. Not yet mining off of this location. Probably wants to open that one up. Getting a little bit out of position here, I feel. That's probably not going to be a big deal. And he is starting to clean up these AAVs, starting to get that map control that he needs. And Catharsis not going for any railguns at all, really. Or, sorry, not going for any air units at all, really. Which is always a bit surprising. Because he's Catharsis, you know what I mean? But yeah. AV's getting picked off over there as well. But Catharsis, you can tell, he knows what he's doing with these AAVs. He's always using them very nicely. And kind of getting them in positions where they can keep themselves alive just for a little bit longer. Just kind of annoy his opponent just that little bit more. But Tarnarmour having armor on his... Hey, armor, right? On his railguns makes it very difficult for them to get killed by the AAVs, so he's not really at all worried about that, which is nice. So mag accelerator is finished for the railguns from Catharsis, and Tarnarmour doesn't seem to have any heavy railguns at all yet. That could be a bit of an issue. As we know that, you know, heavy railguns, or sorry, like coalition railguns versus assault railguns, it's a pretty easy fight there unless you can get up really close and personal. And there is some cover on this map, like you can hide behind these things kind of, but it's difficult, you know, to say the least. Also, Heavy Vehicles Armor 3 is coming out for him already, so he's going to be... Yeah, he's like full on upgrades, basically, by the time he takes this fight. So this could go quite badly for Tarnarmour here. He's going to pick off this AAV quite nicely, but he needs to back... Oh, okay, smoke is popped, so he's okay. But he needs to recognize that he can't fight these railguns, and he's going to see that, so he backs away. What can honestly help him here quite a lot, I think, is the dart maneuver. Because that way you can kind of like pop in on top of the railguns there. This Sandscreamer here, I think just scouting, but that's a very nice scouting Sandscreamer. He's going to be able to see that the base here is unsupported, the carrier must be in the middle. How many salvagers are here? Just 2. So he's actually falling a little bit behind, I think, in terms of economy, because his opponent is fully mining off of this base right here. If you look at the resources, he should be low on RUs. Yeah, he is. But he's starting to make heavy railguns. He's outnumbered a little bit in that regard, but I think he should be okay. And he definitely has his like anti-strike craft and anti-AAV and whatever totally covered by these assault railguns here. So I think for the time being, making more Sandscreamers is actually not a particularly good move here, unless he can get a nice angle, I guess. Oh yeah, you know, there's only like one AAV here, so maybe that's not so bad. But definitely his priority needs to be to get heavy railguns out, because that's going to be what decides this fight if it gets taken place. And like I was saying about the dart maneuver, and that would be really good right here. Oh, and like smoke could be popped on that location, that would have been really cool. Oh, but yeah, he doesn't want to cross over on this open field right here because he's going to take a lot of shots to those railguns, and I think he might just lose all of them right here. Catharsis, though, knowing what he's doing, he's targeting that heavy railgun first. He's going to kill it. So that was quite a poor engagement right there. And, you know, in railgun fights, it's very unforgiving that way. Sometimes that's all it takes to turn the tide, really. Let's see, what has he got to deal with this? Well, he still has a whole bunch of sand skimmers. They're kind of preoccupied taking up his base runner right here. Yeah, definitely needs to get over this hill, right? He takes out the artifact, which is nice. I think another thing he could have done in that fight right there was use the base runner moving out this way with the smoke deployed to, like, get closer to the railguns. And that would also get his artifact, you know, close to the extraction zone. So if he forces his opponent to run, then he would be really, really happy, I think, with that, with, like, how that turns out. But yeah, the railgun count's starting to get a bit out of control here, but Tarnarmour looks like he's triple producing heavies, so that's very good for him. But, yeah, there's quite a number of railguns out here. And as you can see, Catharsis is doing a good job keeping his units together. He doesn't want those AAVs to be away from the railguns. And this one here in a really, really annoying position. I like that a lot too. I'm looking for like a place where Tarnarmour can kind of break through, but it's tricky to see. But he's starting to get more heavy railguns, and like I said, that really needs to be his priority here. And Catharsis is going for fighter and gunship fabrication, but what he hasn't seen is that there's 3 missile ships already on the field, so that's not going to go too well for him. I was gonna say, like, where are the air units? You know what I mean? Well, there they are. This guy also just slacking off, not minding at all. But I think he saw with his sand skimmers that they're moving up this way. He ought to predict that they're gonna come through that pass and try to raid the eco a little bit there. But yeah, Catharsis is doing a very good job keeping those AAVs in front, making sure that the sand skimmers can't capitalize at all. So the heavy railgun count definitely starting to get a bit higher here. And I think he can now take either one of these forces alone, but not them together. Which is good actually because they're split up, but it does mean he might have some trouble as they come into the eco over here. Catharsis meanwhile already has 2 strike fighters, 4 more on the queue. Here they come. Now a really nice missile barrage could do a lot of damage here because of course these units don't auto-heal, but it looks like the missile ship's going to get killed off immediately. And now Catharsis is going to know that those things are there. Singular railgun getting sent out here, I'm not totally sure about this idea because it's definitely just going to die for nothing. But it looks like he might be able to get an extraction, which is kind of nice. Here's a big fight going down right here. And the key here is that you want to attack the railguns first. The AAV is actually smoking to get close, but that's good for Tarnarmour. He ought to push these assault railguns in close while he's got the chance. Cruise missile shots come in and they're really good, look at that. That one also not bad at all. I think he should probably just target the railguns first, actually. I was thinking Sport Cruiser instead, but the railguns will die much quicker. And look at that barrage from the missile ship 2 doing a lot of good damage, and now it's just AAVs left. Meanwhile, on this side, these sand skimmers doing a really nice job harassing the railguns, and actually it looks like Tarnarmour is held quite nicely here. Oh, and look at that, he's in his opponent's base too, just doing whatever the heck. Dang, he's not going to get the Sport Cruiser kill right here, of course, because of the air units, but that is not bad at all. And he gets an extraction out. So suddenly things start looking very, very good for Tarnarmour. Definitely some damage was done here. He's going to have to, like, recuperate his economy just a little bit, but I think he basically just got a full army wipe there. Now he needs to make sure he's got anti-air, but he has 2 missile ships in the area, so that's fine. Wow. So that fight turned out very, very nicely. I think at this point, there's lots of air units in the area, so he needs to be careful. He doesn't want to get caught out by these, but fortunately he knows that they're there because they're fighting the base runner here. At this point, all he needs to really do, I think, is continue building up his army with the same composition as he's got right now, and then push out. And I think he should have the momentum right now. Although, Catharsis with like a massive eco in the bank here, so he's able to reproduce those railguns really quickly. And Catharsis finding a place where there's no air coverage as well. So he's going to do well right there. Oh, he ran out of missiles, so he's going to head back home, actually. That's a bit unfortunate for him. And now Tarnarmour should be very aware that that place is a little weak to air. Let's see, what are the heavy railgun counts? Actually, oh my gosh. Yeah, when Tarnarmour was telling me about this game, he said that he didn't know how Catharsis made so many units. I'm starting to see what he means. Wow. I don't really know either, but he's got a couple of them now. So this is a fight that you don't want to go into, especially not one at a time like this. So he definitely needs to back away here. Fortunately, he's managing to get a lot of free shots off on him. I'm not totally sure how. But he needs to definitely back away. Power getting into the cruise missiles, and they're going to be good. Look at those shots. Actually takes one of them out entirely. Now, I really like how Catharsis has mixed a couple of support cruises in here, because the Conf way of fighting, especially against Coalition, tends to be just kind of chipping away at them, slowly doing more and more damage. Of course, support cruiser is kind of the nice counter to that, and there's even two of them, so they can heal each other. But look how many railguns this is. This is actually crazy. How many is that? 17 railguns! Oh my gosh. Against only 5 for Tarnarmour. So... that makes things really tricky. Especially as battlecruiser fabrication is coming down the line, and that's of course going to be kind of like railguns, but much harder to kill. I don't know. Catharsis has got a really nice, not really composition, just number of railguns here. And really, I don't know how he managed to make all these either. It might just be the fact that he didn't really lose any units in the early game, managed to build up a really big bank here. But I think that's got to sway the tide of this battle here. Sandskimmers are going to run in and try to do some damage. Also, production cruiser coming in after them. I'm not really totally sure why. This guy in the high ground in a nice position. These guys in a nice position too, but they're just vastly outnumbered. And Catharsis is just going to kind of push in here. Production cruiser almost getting killed in one shot. Look at that. And Tarnarmour going to choose that moment to surrender. Yeah, I don't know how Catharsis had so many units there. Because Tarnarmour took like a sick engagement over here. Like, make no mistake, that was insane. He managed to take probably like 2-for-1 losses, you know what I mean? Or give to, like, I don't know what I'm saying. Point is, it turned out really well. And this attack over here didn't do too well either. He had to worry about his economy a little bit, had to like fill them back up. But then Catharsis suddenly just has like 17 railguns, so I'm not totally sure. Not totally sure. I really kind of thought that Tarnarmour was going to win, like, when that fight went down there. But that's alright. It may just be the fact that Catharsis got saturated on all 3 bases a little bit faster. He's much more careful about making sure there's all 4 salvagers on each location, but... Still, though, I thought it was a really good game. I was quite pleased with that one. Let's move on to the next one, shall we? Let me just get it into my replays folder here. I've got these set up in such a way that we can't see who's going to win until the series is finished, so I'm just kind of managing the files right there. Yeah, actually, okay, this kind of does tell the story a bit better, doesn't it? He just had so many more CUs, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think it just must be like a missaturation problem. Hard to say, though. Well, the next map is going to be Tight End Passage here. Just make sure I'm actually recording. Yeah, I am. Good. That would be really sad. And I'm sure you saw from the title screen right there that Tarnarmour is going to be Coalition here. That's the one he's going to roll. So Coalition versus Soban. You should have a really nice early game as Coalition where you get a lot of field control, but you can't really attack. You should be able to get some artifacts out there. I think, honestly, like making double base runner in the early game might not be a bad move because of that. And I say that, of course, because Coalition has got the turret, and Saban really doesn't. I mean, they really don't. Yeah, obviously they don't. But you know what I mean. So yeah, the artifacts should basically just be yours to take, I think, in the early game. Let's see. So it's immediate LAV fabrication once again. And that's a good sign. I think that means he's doing it. But I think against Soban especially, which are not going to attack you usually in the early game, but definitely are going to be more defensive, it's pretty safe to go support cruiser first. I think I would have done that instead. But this is still not a bad move, like I said. Okay, so Catharsis makes the support cruiser before he gets the extra salvagers too. Hmm. I don't really know which one's better. So it looks like Tarnarmour is also going to expand over to another base there. He might be going support cruiser first, to be honest. But then the question... Oh, he salvaged his base runner. I think that's kind of a bad sign, because that tells me... Oh, and he's going for AV fabrication. Yeah, okay. So that tells me he wants to do some early game aggression. I'm not sure about that, because against Soban it's very difficult. The carrier does Sunder when it attacks the ALMs, you know, stun you and stuff. I think probably the early game advantage you have against Soban comes mostly in the midfield here, and I think you should just focus on getting artifacts out. But because then you can play kind of the Garmulator style, like carrier battles fight, you know, and you're always going to win that because your carrier is like way better. And that can kind of negate the Soban advantage in the mid game. Let's see. So definitely Catharsis Eco going to be better than Tarnarmour's here. That's no surprise if Tarnarmour's tech rushing, but we need to see him get some value out of this then pretty quickly. And this will essentially be like the opposite of what we saw last game, right? Catharsis is going to scout what faction his opponent is. He even saw the AAV doors opening up there. I don't know if he noticed that or not, but he definitely saw it. This carrier just kind of teetering on the edge here. That's very nice. Gonna try to get an extraction out here. And Tarnarmour can't stop this, obviously. He definitely doesn't want to try to stop it with the AAVs. That's a common trap people will fall into, but that is just kind of like bait in a way, because the AAVs can do damage to the economy, and they can damage a base runner too, but much slower, much less noticeably. You know what I mean? And AAV fabrication is finished for Catharsis as well. ALM goes down right there. That's not in the best position because you can kind of avoid it by going around on the hill. I think being on the crest of the dune somewhere would have been a bit better, but it'll do. But the thing is, look at this. He's already making AAVs, actually. And so I'm really worried now for Tarnarmour. I don't think his attack is going to pan out here. This is why you need to be very quick if you do an AAV attack. Because if your opponent has AAVs already, and he's Soban with like the Sunder ability on his carrier and all that stuff, you're going to have a really hard time. So we'll have to see what happens here, but I think Catharsis probably just wants to power up these two, and he should be fine. Cue that gif that Tren always sends when you're talking about AAVs fighting AAVs, right? Oh my gosh, in fact, Catharsis has heavy vehicles armor 1, so he's never going to lose this fight. Oh no. Yeah, this is going quite badly here. And see, that's what I was saying, like, you kind of know that your opponent's going to play eco if you're against Soban, right? So I think you really ought to just, do the same yourself. And Tarnarmour could have, you know, like 2 artifact extractions and be on 2 bases here, but instead he's on 1, and he's really just kind of getting stomped in the early game right here. So he needs to get the upgrade as fast as he can. He's gotten armor 1, but armor 2 is still not finished, and it is for Catharsis. He'd be able to stomp down that base runner, that's very nice. But he's definitely at a disadvantage now. And if he can get up to a second base as fast as possible, maybe he's still got a chance, but there's already railguns on the way for Catharsis. And it looks like we're going to be moving into that Soban mid-game, which is so powerful. As he gets to the railgun advantages, carriers still can't really be used in the fight. People inviting me to play the game. Sorry, man. I would, but I'm too busy playing the game. Anyway, AV is actually coming in for kind of a nice angle here on the south, or at least I thought it was. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to get much done there. Just going to have to pop smoke and get out. But he does kind of deny a little bit of time mining off that third base, but you can see what the problem is. Like, this one hasn't even been touched. So, yeah, I'm really worried for Tarnarmour right here. I think this is not going to go to a third map. Especially, you know, a player like Catharsis, you gotta figure he's gonna do well, right? AV's already coming in for some harassment as well. Now there is a railgun here, which is nice. In a good position as well, getting high ground on those, but still a salvager is gonna go down. Oh, and cruelly denied from its second shot there as well. That's pretty sad. Tarnarmour now getting a support cruiser. That's finished now. So he should probably move his carrier out here. This definitely seems to be the more contested one. But yeah, he should be able to hold that second base there. Why am I clicking so much? Yeah, so he's going to move the support cruiser down, it seems. I like the idea of moving the carrier, because you know that this one's going to be fought over more. And then you can have kind of a force multiplier there, but... Catharsis, meanwhile, going double base runner, I think, anyway. No, just one. Then why was there a 2 next? Oh my gosh. Anyway. But yeah, he'd like to go for some more extractions. He knows he's got field control. And he can tech up to almost anything now at this point. You know, I honestly think assault cruisers would be a really nice move for him now. I know that sounds a little weird, but because it leads to artillery, which can just really end like a fight like this that's going on kind of in the mid-game. And he's got the railgun advantage, so he's not gonna run into trouble in that regard. And then, you know, it also kind of shuts down any potential counterplay with like LAVs and such. But yeah, this is really rough. But the railgun gets sniped there. Sport cruiser taking a lot of damage too. And at that point, I think it really just has to be over for Tarnarmour. And he knows that he's going to choose that moment to quit the game. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I feel like it's kind of a strategic mistake, honestly. Like to try to go for an AAV rush and also that slow, but especially against Soban. And this map is not exactly small. It's very narrow, right? If I can't really turn off reveal all, can I? But the borders of the map are like here. So it's very narrow, but it's still very long. So the rush distance is actually not that good for you. But yeah, that means Catharsis can advance to the finals. That's not really too much of a surprise. But I think Tarnarmour had a lot more potential there than we were able to see. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed that series. I'll be casting the other one against Frosty Teeth and I, which is the other semifinal, pretty soon. But yeah, until then, I'll see you guys next time.